Hello, everyone. My name is Rose Simpson. I'm a librarian at the New Haven Free Public Library, and welcome to Camp Public Kitchen Cooking Around the Clock. For today, we're going to learn how to make lunch. We are here today with our creative in residence, Nadine Nelson, who's going to be teaching us.
Great. So, hi, my name is Nadine Nelson. I am the chef, educator, and owner of Global Local Gourmet. It's an interactive culinary event company, and we specialize in interactive food education. I am also a trained teacher. So, this is a passion project of mine to make sure that kids and their families know how to be able to nourish themselves. We've been having a lot of fun each day. We have done breakfast, we've done brunch, and now we're doing lunch. I know that can be a point of contention for a lot of kids in schools, depending on where you go to school. I know that my daughter doesn't particularly like her school lunch in New Haven Public Schools. However, they're trying to do a really good job of putting vegetables and making it a lot fresher. We have one of those systems in which we have one cafeteria and the food goes out, so that provides limitations. But during COVID, for instance, they have been providing food for families and also providing kits and making sure that people have food over the weekend to be able to make breakfast and other things. So I think that that has been refreshing and an innovative way to make sure that people are eating in the city of New Haven. So we today are going to be making a couple of things, but they're things that you can do a lot of variety to. And so the theme of the week is being able to use food as a symbol and as a personification of life, and that you can have a recipe, which we provide you with a recipe. And at the end of the week, we will also post a very nice graphic designed cookbook of all the recipes from each day. And kind of. Um, but a lot of the recipes are like formulas. And so today I'm going to be making three different types of salsa. I'm going to be making, well, fresh salsa. I'm going to be making salsa out of the can also. So I guess two salsas. Um, and but I want people to understand that there's many ways to make salsa. Salsa means sauce in Spanish, and there's many ways that you can make it. You can make it with seasonal items. You don't only have to make it with tomatoes, which we traditionally know of salsa being made with. So um, I'm happy to be here. And I want to show people also how lunches are made around the world. We also, each day at the end, from 7 to 7:30, we do a home ec exercise. And today we're gonna be learning how to be able um, to thread a needle, but then also how to sew a button in three ways, and also talk about the idea of mending and breaking and recovering from that, because a lot of times as adults we don't know how to deal with that, more or less to be able to tell kids how you deal with that. And oftentimes you don't look at failure as something that is, I don't like to look at things in simple terms as good and bad, but we look at failure as something that can be devastating. And failure doesn't have to be devastating if you fail forward and you grow from it. And so mending can be a metaphor for that um, something can be broken, but you can put it back together and it can be stronger. And so we'll use the idea of learning how to sew as a metaphor to have discussions about that in regard to ourselves, and maybe in regard to, like, you can extend the conversation beyond this to, mending relationships, or finding value in something that you have broken to be able to make stronger and better and more innovative. So we're going to see a video right now about lunches around the world, and then you will interplay between making a variety of things and They will be salsa and quesadillas, and I'll show you how to be able to make different quesadillas, different tortillas. But then also we'll make peanut noodles, and we'll make some fresh spring rolls, and that you can make with peanut noodles. So it's the same type of recipe, but a different kind of dish. And we'll make also chia pudding. So Rose, if you can play the video on different breakfasts around the world, that'd be great.
Yep.
Thank you.
One moment.
I'm gonna turn off my video while you're doing that.
Whether carrying a brown bag from home, picking up a tray from the lunch person, or serving up the food themselves, lunchtime at school can be one of the most important parts of a child's day. Let's take a look at what kids around the world eat for lunch. French students can expect up to a 4-course meal at lunch. They begin with a salad of fresh veg, followed by quality protein like salmon with a side of roasted broccoli. They wouldn't be French without a course of soft cheeses, jam, and fresh bread. And kids finish with a sweet confection like marzipan before heading back to class. In Japan, kids aren't served healthy meals, they serve them. To teach healthy cooking, kids take turns helping to cook, serve, and clean up for their peers. Meals are heavy on rice, vegetables, and fish. Students in Nigeria are fed well-balanced meals each day. Meals could include smoky, tomatoey jollof rice with chicken and steamed veg. Finland was the first country in the world to provide free lunch to every student, and the law ensures high nutrition standards. Veggies like beetroot salad and roasted turnips take up at least half the plate. Starches and grains such as a crepe topped with slightly tart lingonberry jam take up 1/4, and a protein such as haranuko, a split pea soup topped with smoked ham, takes up the other. Crisp bread is served on the side. In South Korea, students eat off steel trays sectioned out for perfect portion sizes. The bigger section is for rice, the circle holds soup, and the smaller portions are for tangy, spicy kimchi, some veggies, and meat like marinated strips of pork shoulder called jeukbokkum. With a large Orthodox population in Ethiopia, meals are largely plant-based. An array of foods like spicy lentils, zucchini, and yellow split pea soup called kik alicha are eaten with injera, a fermented flatbread. Thanks to the island's burgeoning farm-to-school program, kids in Hawaii can expect meals made from scratch with local, fresh ingredients, such as a chicken stir-fry with veggies and fresh-baked bread on the side. Ukrainian kids get their lunch in 3 courses. First, a soup course such as borscht, a hearty beef-based soup with cabbage and red beets to give it a vibrant color, followed by meat and starch like grilled sausages with potato and cheese-stuffed dumplings called vareniki. They finish sweet with a shortbread biscuit. A lunch tray in the US could include a gooey grilled cheese on crunchy whole grain bread with creamy tomato soup, carrot sticks, fruit like a box of raisins and an apple, and a brownie for dessert before heading back to class. Italian students run to the cafeteria to receive a 2-course meal, and if these kids reside in Rome, the meal must by law be 70% organic. Primo is the pasta course, while protein and a veg like grilled chicken with a tasty mozzarella and tomato salad is served for secondo. According to the World Food Program, Thai students receive the most nutritional lunches in all of Asia. Kids can expect a balanced meal like grilled chicken, rice, and an antioxidant-packed spicy sweet green papaya salad. Families in China pay a monthly fee of about 70 cents per day for children to receive a boxed lunch. Inside, kids can find rice, meat, and vegetables. Food is a constitutional right in Brazil, which means schools are required to provide students with healthy meals with 30% of ingredients sourced from local farmers. Kitchen staff cooks fresh foods like frittatas loaded with veggies, paired with hearty rice and beans, and a piece of fruit. Kids in India show up to school with a tiffin box, a stackable metal container filled with a home-cooked meal. What's inside depends on the region. Northern Indian kids might enjoy parathas, seasoned flaky bread accompanied with bundi raita, crispy gram flour balls floating in a sea of spiced yogurt. Kids in Guatemala go home for lunch, where they'll eat dishes like pasta in a tomato sauce with beets and tortillas. With classes 6 days a week, school in Israel finishes before lunchtime, but kids do bring a shot isser, a morning meal, which could be a small snack like pita with hummus and a hard-boiled egg. Kids in Trinidad and Tobago might be served rich and gelatinous oxtail stew for lunch paired with bussap, soft and flaky shreds of roti. Students in Hong Kong can expect a veggie like steamed broccoli alongside wok fried pork slices and white rice. A kid in the UK might be served baked cod fingers with a hot jacket potato, a heaping side of beans, and a handful of chocolate biscuits for dessert. In Mexico, instead of a meal, kids might bring along a morning snack such as a torta layered with spicy bean dip, sliced ham, tomato, and fresh, crisp lettuce. Australian kids eat lunch outside, bringing food from home or buying meals from a cafeteria or street vendor. Food can include classic takeaway comforts like a sausage roll, pork sausage wrapped snugly in puff pastry, with a couple sweet chocolate biscuits called Tim Tams for dessert. Norwegian schools don't have cafeterias, so kids bring a light lunch from home, which could include an open-faced sandwich with liverwurst, a sausage of pork liver blended with bold spices like cardamom, coriander, and mace. The meat's texture is almost spreadable, close to pâté, and is accompanied by toppings like mustard and cheese. Milk and fresh fruit is provided by the school. Although students bring a home-cooked lunch daily, teachers in Pakistan are known to contact parents if meals don't err on the healthy side. Kids might bring aloo gosht, a stew of lamb and potatoes paired with roti and a sweet and creamy mango lassi in the summer. So, which type of school lunch do you want to try? Are there any we missed? Let us know in the comments below.
So I always think that it's kind of interesting, the kinds of foods that people eat around the world. So I'm Jamaican, and I like sandwiches, but I could not eat a sandwich like every day, for instance, because I didn't grow up on that. My mom definitely does not like cold food. And even though I like a lot of cold food and salads and stuff like that, in Jamaica, when you eat a salad, it's like in addition to something else. It wouldn't be your lunch per se. If you have a sandwich is more a snack, a patty is more a snack. Like a patty is something that you would have at lunch, but it's still more a snack, but a beef patty or a vegetarian patty. But things that we eat, a Jamaican breakfast is more substantial, like what they showed in the video from Trinidad, the oxtail and the bus up shop, which is a roti, or a flat bread that is done in shards. And so you eat it and you dip your stew and then you eat it. And so, yeah, I think that it's interesting the things that we eat as Americans, and the things that other people eat. And when you come here, and if you're an immigrant, because I'm an immigrant's child, like how like the different things that you adapt and what you want to have as part of your the things that you eat. So we're gonna make chia pudding, and so we're gonna start with that first, because the I don't know if it will in less than an hour and a half be able to get soft, but usually you do chia pudding. What you can do is what you can do is do it tonight, and then tomorrow morning or for lunch tomorrow, it will definitely be done. I don't think in an hour and a half. Usually I do it for extended period of time. Like I do it in the evening, and in the morning it's totally soft. But I don't know if you can see, I have like a chia cereal. I couldn't get just chia seeds. They were sold out at the market. So it's like a cereal, but it's the black things right here. And then this has chia, buckwheat, and hemp cereal, cranberry, vanilla. So you put a couple of tablespoons or teaspoons in here in a jar, something that closes and that you can put a top on. Just want to make sure of my measurements. So I'm gonna put 3 tablespoons of chia seeds in here. And this is a teaspoon measure that I'm using. So I'm doing 3 teaspoons to make a tablespoon. So and we have the recipes exactly for you. And then I will put a cup because I'm halving the recipe because this is not big enough for 2 cups in here. And so this is coconut milk. You can use a milk of your choice. I like to use coconut milk because it has a natural sweetness in there. And I'm not going to put any sugar in here because I think the cereal probably has sugar. So I will taste it tomorrow to see if it needs like agave. You can put sugar. You can put your sweetener of choice. You can put maple syrup, which is really good. So this is 13 ounces. And 13 ounces, it's around half of this, but not exactly half to make a cup. It's around 8 ounces to make a cup. So we're trying to do a little bit of math. I'm not the best at math myself though. So I'm gonna mix this around actually, because I don't know if you see that, has water in there. So I wanna make sure that the cream is mixed up with the water. I was trying to shake it. I don't know if you saw before. I was trying to shake it to make sure that this was all mixed together. But all you have to do, I might use a fork to make it easier to break up the fattiness of the coconut milk. So if you want to, you can use almond milk. We have almond milk right here. You can use regular milk. You can use oat milk. You can use hemp milk. You can use whatever milk that you like. You can also, if you want it not to be creamy, use juice. But if it's a pudding, you might want it to be creamy, and the coconut milk does that. So you see, this is like more mixed up. And we'll see what this looks like at the end of the show. And then you just put that in there. You can shake it around if you want to. And we'll see how much the chia seeds expand. And so expands by tomorrow morning, all of this will be like a pudding. And then if you want it looser, then you can make it looser. And then if it's not sweet enough for you, then you can. I'll put a little bit of vanilla. I love Nielsen Massey because they're fair trade and they work with communities all around the world. And vanilla is a beautiful product of an orchid plant. It's very rare. And a little bit goes a long way. And if you can't afford it, it's great if you can get real vanilla. Right, so there. And vanilla originally comes from Mexico, and we're making salsa and quesadillas, which come from Mexico too. Ooh, 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 ooh. Thank God I did not do that today.
I can't hear you. The microphone may have gotten unplugged.
Okay, is it unplugged?
Oh, I can hear you now.
Right. So we're gonna make the fresh spring rolls and peanut noodles. And I made a video about fresh spring rolls and the ingredients for fresh spring rolls. You can either use these noodles, which are kind of wide. They're pad thai noodles. So you'd use this to make the peanut noodles just as a salad, not wrapped up in something. However, I'm also going to make fresh spring rolls, which has the same ingredients as peanut noodles. And you can just use, it's what's great, it's that you can use whatever you have. And you can soak these noodles for around 10 minutes in hot water, and they'll become pliable and have a nice bite to it. If you want to speed up, you can boil water and then pour it in a bowl, but then you have to watch it because they become really pliable really quick if it's in hot water. To make fresh spring rolls, you have these wrappers that you soak in water, and then we will assemble things. And then while I'm prepping that stuff this week, I haven't really talked about like chopping and julienning, so I'll do that and to show you those different techniques. And we'll put together the peanut noodles and put together fresh spring rolls, and then we will make salsa and quesadilla, a lot of different varieties. I have flour tortillas, and I also have fresh flour tortillas, so we'll make them from scratch, kind of. And I have corn tortillas too. And on Monday for breakfast, we made refried beans, where lots of people eat beans around the world as part of their breakfast. And so we made refried beans on Monday. And so I have those refried beans to be able to make today, to use today for our quesadillas. All right, so Rose, can you do the fresh spring roll video, please?
Yep.
Thank you. And while that's happening, I'm gonna be soaking our noodles to work with for the fresh spring rolls and the peanut noodles. Thank you. Can you hear me, Rose?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So fresh spring rolls, I would say, is probably a symbol for my business. I love making fresh spring rolls. And so I lived in Boston, Massachusetts for around 23 years. And I became acclimated to Vietnamese food there because they have one of the largest populations of Vietnamese people outside of Vietnam. And I used to be an educator and like a formal educator in a formal school. And I used to be an administrator. And I had advisees that were Vietnamese from when they were middle school to high school. And so, you know, when you're an advisor in a private school to kids, it's kind of like you're a de facto parent at school for kids. And so, especially for those particular kids, their parents didn't speak a lot of English. And so they had to depend on me to be able to negotiate a lot of things for kids. So they're very appreciative and would invite me to their house, or they would make like fried spring rolls and bring me over like 50 spring rolls to eat in a weekend. And I have to share them and pawn them off to people because I love fried spring rolls, but I can't eat 50. But you know, I would learn how to make pho, and I love teaching people how to make fresh spring rolls because it's a very easy thing to do. It is a little, I wouldn't say labor intensive, but I say it takes some kind of preparation, and therefore it's great to do it in groups, to do have a party, to do that. But we will be able to make right here, we're gonna make these as peanut noodles. Just we're gonna mix these. We'll put some vegetables, probably use some tofu and stuff like that. And then we will make fresh spring rolls out of this. And these are smaller, and these are made with rice. So if you are gluten free, these are noodles that you can use and eat. And you can stir fry them. You can put them in wrappers and then fry them. But we are making fresh spring rolls, which depends on fresh ingredients. So you always, like as in the video, have herbs, whatever you have, like carrots, we have cabbage, lots of different things you can adapt and put in based on what you have on your pantry. So I am going to, is the water boiling, Soleil? Both of those? Okay, so the water's boiling for the noodles, and then we will assemble, and I will do my cuts for what we will put inside the spring roll. So the spring rolls are really great. So like there's the tofu. Can you bring me the tofu, please? Because you can put, I have some cabbage that I bought already chopped up. We have some other cabbage, but I will put this nicely on um, a plate and make like a rainbow of different things. So get me the carrots, Soleil, please. Yeah. And the other cabbage and some of the lettuce, please. All right, I'll do some scallions because we need that. So show people like you want to have your hand as a claw, and then you want to use your knife against your knuckles so you don't hurt yourself. Right? And I have this julienne that I'm going to try and use. Can you wash the carrots for me, please? So this is what you call mise en place. And so a lot of times in cooking, cooking is just about, you know, making sure all your stuff is assembled before you do something. It's not the most glamorous thing in the world, but it is something that you have to do. Just like cleaning as you go along, that is something that you have to do. We are filming, so I can't clean as you go along, but if you're making this at home, please, for your parents, please clean as you go along, okay? So we got scallions. We have different herbs that you can use that traditionally, right off here, we usually have basil, and usually you have a purple basil or Thai basil. That's from Southeast Asia, but we're just using Italian basil because that's what we could get today. And so that's where you're trying to be flexible. That a lot of people feel like you have to go out and like, I don't have this, I don't have this, I don't